New York is loosening visitation rules at long-term care facilities.
Kelly O'Brien shows you how one facility is balancing the needs of people who want visitors with those who worry about the threat of bringing the virus inside.
Definitely a creative way to visit your loved ones here at Pine Harbor Assisted Living in Plattsburgh inside the COVID-19 visitation cottage.
It respects everybody's wishes for residents who still want to have in-person visitation and those residents who still don't want to have people in the building.
The cottage has benefited people like Carl Zoran.
I think this has worked out very good.
Thursday afternoon, his son and daughter-in-law stopped by for a visit, and this weekend he gets to see his year-old great-grandson.
His name is Gabriel.
These visits are thanks to some of the loosened restrictions for visitation in long-term care facilities. Masks are still required. Sanitize and sign in under supervision from volunteer turned staff member, 91-year-old Marilyn Donahue.
Many of them haven't seen one another for a year, probably. The tears come and then the smiles.
Each visit lasts roughly 30 minutes, and a resident can have 2 visitors at once. Social distancing is still required, vaccinated or not.
Right now, there's still no hugs when they come to see, which is probably one of the hardest parts about that visitation.
But the upside to these changes is the removal of the 14-day quarantine requirements. Prior to March 25th, any COVID in the facility or non-compliance of any COVID regulations meant that all visits had to be canceled, but that's no longer the case.
The person with COVID-19 wouldn't be able to have a visitation, but that doesn't stop everybody else from being able to have visitation.
The other big change, particularly important to Carl, is that residents are allowed to leave the facility and return without needing a negative COVID test.
I may be able to go up to the casino for my birthday.
Since November, the state was requiring negative tests of any resident upon return unless they left for a medical appointment.
They couldn't even go get a carton of milk without having to provide a negative test and quarantine for 14 days. So it was really impossible, and those regulations have been lifted.
Now, if you do want to come see your loved one here at Pine Harbor, you do need to call ahead to schedule an appointment to make sure they have proper staffing and space in the cottage for your visit. In Plattsburgh, Kelly O'Brien, Channel 3 News.